Hi.
Hi, it is so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for agreeing to meet.
Jackie.
I would love to hear about the Oaklander model. If you could just explain, to the people listening about what you've created. You are such an inspiration. I can't even begin to describe. Is it hard?
Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes.
Okay, the question is to tell about the Oaklander model. And could you repeat it again? I'm sorry, Jackie.
Yes. Tell her it's so nice to meet you. And
so nice to meet you. Let's do it kind of like language. I'll stay with you the whole time. And
okay.
You'll say a sentence and I'll repeat it.
Perfect. That sounds great. I would love to hear about the Oaklander model. We have lots of therapists listening to this that just adore your work. So if you could just share with
about the Oaklander model. There are many therapists who'll be listening to this that adore your work.
Oh, okay. We want to hear about the Oaklander model. Oh my goodness, it's a big order. I'll just give you a brief thing, I guess. Well, it really comes from my experience with Gestalt therapy. I had a very significant experience with that modality. Therefore, I started training, and I went into training for 3 years to be a Gestalt therapist and read lots of books and stuff. And I realized that not much was written about children and this therapy. And so I began to figure out how I could use it with children. At that time, I was working with emotionally disturbed children in the schools, so I had a lot of opportunity to think about it and try things. And so I came up with it. And it's really based on the theoretical aspects of Gestalt therapy, although people aren't really totally aware of that use it. You don't have to be a Gestaltist to use it. And basically, it's, we sort of pay a lot of attention to the relationship, which I guess every therapist, every modality does. And we work with if a child has trouble making a relationship, that becomes the focus of the therapy. And then we look at how the child makes contact. Most of the kids that we work with over the years have trouble making good contact with various populations. And so we might, if they have trouble with being in contact, being present with somebody, that becomes the focus of the therapy. We use then then we look at emotional expression and how they feel about themselves. Most of the kids in therapy don't feel very good about themselves, and so we have a lot of things we do to help build the self and expression, emotional expression. And we use the basic really thing that people are aware of is we use a lot of projective technique
Mhm.
to do these various steps. We use a lot of drawings and clay and sand tray work and all the projective techniques that you can think of, uh, even when you don't even think they're projective techniques,
Yeah.
like music. We use a lot of different modalities to help the child feel better about himself or herself, or to help them express their feelings and and that's really the basic of a lot of the Oaklander and how we make use of that. What we do with it, if a child draws a picture, what do we what we do with it is basic to the whole philosophy of the work, to
Yeah.
help the child express own their own feelings and all of that kind of thing.
Oh,
I
that's
don't know
awesome.
if that
That's
helps.
early on before it was even a thing.
I
So,
asked Martha
So
to.
we're going to do the sentence thing. If you look at me, I'm going to repeat it. If you don't, I'm going to assume that you got it.
Okay.
She said, this was early on,
yes,
before other people were doing this kind of work, that you were developing a way of working with children.
Yeah, I guess so. I've
and
always been a little ahead of my time.
certainly.
Yeah.
Martha, can you ask her about the rose bush, which
Um,
is so
she'd like you to
fascinating
talk
how she
about
got
the
that
rose
idea.
bush drawing,
About the
or the
what?
rose bush and how you use that.
Oh, are you familiar with doing that? Is that?
Hmm. Well, I've read it. I've heard about it. I haven't been trained in it.
She's read about it and heard about it. She has not been trained in it,
Oh,
but she'd like you to talk about that exercise and how you use it.
oh, all right. It's we'd ask the person or the client to draw a rose bush. It can be any kind of a bush. Doesn't have to be a rose bush. We just use that as a sample, to draw a flower bush. And so the child just, let's say the person draws the rose bush, and I might ask certain questions. I might say, does your rose bush have roots? Does your rose bush have lots of flowers or no flowers? Does it have thorns? Uh, I might say, where is your rose bush? And I might do it with some children. I've had to do some prompting. By that I mean giving them ideas. Like I might say, your rose bush could be in a backyard, but it could be in the middle of the desert, or it could be in the ocean. It could be anywhere.
Mhm.
And so the person draws the rose bush, and then after they're done, I might write down, let's tell me about your rose bush.
Yeah.
And again, I may have to ask questions. Well, I have this rose bush and it has a lot of flowers. And I might say, are they different colors or the same color? Oh, they're different colors. And then I'm writing this down. And then I might say, well, tell me about your roots. Do you have roots? And some kids say no roots. And some say little deep roots, whatever they say. And I might say, well, where are you? And again, they tell me. And then I might say, are there other rose bushes nearby, or are they alone there? And whatever they say, we describe the rose bush and its life, you might say. So then I say, let's see if any of this fits for you as a person. Like
Mhm.
I have, what would it be like? You said your rose bush has lots of colors. What would that mean for a person, for you? And some kids actually get it, and some say, well, I like to do a lot of different things. Or they say, I don't know.
Mhm.
If they
Mhm.
say, I don't know, And I say, well, sometimes it could mean that you like to do a lot of different things, or that you have a lot of interests, or that you just like colors. And they might pick one of those or not. And then they talk about their roots and who takes care of them and all that. And
Brilliant.
often they will tell you about the rosebush based on their own experience in life, uh, or the opposite sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's how we gradually work with it. It's funny that, I mean, it's just one of the many, many, many
Yeah.
techniques we use.
Yeah.
So
Lots of the
it's a very
projection.
successful. It actually works with all ages. Adolescents, it's very good technique to use with adolescents and any age child.
Yeah.
Really.
Seems like maybe even with adults as well. It
Oh
seems
yeah,
very,
yeah.
that's
Oh, with
incredible.
adults, right? Yes, definitely,
Mhm.
definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Um, Martha, can you just say if you could give one piece of advice to new therapists just
What
starting out to work with children, what would it be?
therapists have trained and they've graduated and they're just starting to work with children. Can you give one piece of advice, something that would help a beginner to get started, to feel confident, to begin learning?
Well, uh, I hope they've had a lot of training of what to do, how to talk and listen and I might ask them to have a person draw a safe place, because everybody could draw a safe place. If you say it, you do a certain amount of, like today in this world, especially with the pandemic, we
Mhm.
all need a safe place. So think about a place that feels safe for you,
Mhm.
and and I always say, and you don't have to draw if you don't know how to draw an elephant and you want an elephant and you are drawing, just draw a circle, and you can tell me it's an elephant later. It doesn't have to be exact, and shouldn't be your best. I would tell kids, don't do your best work,
Yeah.
and adults as well. Actually, a lot of adults don't care to draw because they would like it to be perfect. You know,
Yeah.
so it's helpful when I say, please don't make it perfect, or draw a scribble or shape, and you'll know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't know if that
Yeah,
helps.
it sounds like what Violet's saying is a good way for a new therapist to start out would be to have done some of the work themselves
Yeah.
so they know what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
You can't
Now,
really do work with kids if you don't do it yourself. Is that right,
Well,
Violet?
that's true. I've always had this. When I did it for many years. I did a 2 week training program,
yeah.
and that was the main thing, was to do many of the things themselves, so they knew how it felt. You
Yeah.
know.
Through experience. I
Yeah.
think Dr. Fried, Karen was telling me about her experiences with you and just how profound it was in her professional journey as trainer and just as a mentor and just as a person to be inspired by.
Um, Karen has shared with Jackie that her work with you has been very profound for her and given her a sense of direction in her working with kids because she's had such healing experiences through her working with you and with the model.
Oh, thanks, Jerry. Thank you.
Mhm. As many around the world.
And I'll
Well,
toss in and say that I'm lucky to be in that same category with Karen.
oh, and I know there's many that has not met you and are profoundly impacted by your work. So, You really have been, I would say, just a beautiful pioneer in
I think
certainly
that
play
many,
therapy
many
and
people have been
healing.
impacted by your work, but never had a chance to meet you, and that you've been a pioneer.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, thank you so much for being part of this Innovative Child Therapy Symposium. It means the world to me that you joined us like that, like this. You're definitely a gift to the world. You have a lot of people that love you and your work.
A lot of people love you and your work, and she's so grateful to get to do this interview with you.
Yeah. I have some trouble hearing, and since I was actually a child, and for some reason, I have hearing aids, but they're not working great.
Yeah,
So sorry that I have to.
no worries. No worries at all. Well, thank you. It was nice
Oh,
meeting you.
oh, it's my pleasure. So tell me about you. Where you are working with what organization?
My name's Jackie Flynn. I'm a registered play therapist,
Yeah.
and I have a podcast. It's like a radio show
Yeah.
that I talk about play therapy on. And I do this symposium. It's like an online conference.
My translator went up.
You went out.
We had somebody here working on the thermostat for the heater,
Yeah.
and he just said, I need you. Martha, this is my daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
She is married to my son.
Oh,
Lucky,
okay.
lucky me. My husband is turning 70 in a few days, so I
Oh,
have given him my request. He must stay alive as long as his mom. I don't want him to go away.
oh, oh. She has
I am 93 now, almost 94.
93 or 94. What has been like the most like your favorite part of your work, your most
What,
memorable part of
what's
your
the
work that you enjoy?
most memorable favorite part of your work?
That's the most memorable
Yeah.
favorite.
Well, I'll just say something maybe to help you a little bit. She used to have a, on her bulletin board in Santa Barbara a little quote that said, "Every time a child opened their heart to me, I felt awe." Remember that? It was a quote. Well, anyway, I remember her quotes.
Just that privilege of having the honor of someone sharing their heart, their story with you, especially a child.
Talking about how you felt honored that kids would trust you to tell
Ah,
you their story.
yeah. Okay. Yes.
Oh, it's beautiful. Well, thank you so much. I
Oh, you're
super
my
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
So, it's really nice that you're so interested in the work,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that would be great. Okay.
Yes.
Are you here in Los Angeles, Jackie?
I am in Florida.
Oh, Florida. She's in Florida.
Florida. Yes, near
Oh,
Orlando.
Orlando. Okay.
Mhm.
Violet lived in Florida at one point,
just for
Oh.
a brief.
brief time.
Was
Was it
she mainly a
yesterday or
private
the day before?
practitioner or trainer?
Um, what was that again?
As far as like the setting of Violet's work, was it mainly in private practice or school
Did you
setting
mostly see
or
private clients or work in
agency?
schools?
Well, I worked in schools for about 9, 10 years,
Oh,
and then I went into private practice and had a private. But I also did some many workshops around the country, around the world, traveling, giving seminars and workshops and teaching and all of that. So I've had a pretty varied, experience of life and work.
oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
now I'm sort of retired.
Yeah. So you're sort of retired now, but we're so lucky to have you join us here.
Well, there's so much demand for her work, and with Karen making it accessible through Zoom with our Sunday mornings, and there's just a lot of activity in the foundation of people teaching Violet's work, but still needing her to help them to teach effectively. They're baby teachers, and she's the big mommy teacher.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I love that image. You are the big mommy teacher. It's really nice. Such a big
I told her that
inspiration.
Karen and Lynn are the baby teachers, and you're the mommy teacher.
Yeah.
So the babies still need their mommy.
Oh, I love that. Oof. Give me like a oof.
As long as mommy's still here.
And mommy's still here.
So, well, are you in Florida now?
Yes, I'm in Florida right now. It's a different time here. It's 3 hours later than it is there.
Oh, you've already had your lunch.
I've already eaten lunch and breakfast and maybe a little extra.
How about your kids? Tell us about your kids.
About my children?
Yes.
I have an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old and lots of little clients. I have maybe 5 clients that are under the age of 5 and several teenagers.
The 18 and 16-year-old are your children.
Yes, my
And
children.
boys or girls? Are they boys or girls?
One boy and one girl. So they're
Just teenage kids.
yeah, teenagers.
And then
Yeah.
she sees clients as young as what again, Jackie?
I have about 5 clients under the age of 5. So lots of play therapy going on.
She has 5 clients under the age of 5, and then of course other ones as well.
They're
A
mainly
little older.
teenagers for the
Violet
rest.
has some wonderful case histories that I've seen her present on of little kids, like your under 5-year-old kids.
Yeah, like young
Yeah.
ones.
My cat, I have a cat that
Yeah.
I'm very fond of. She just walked up here. She's
Oh.
wondering what I'm doing.
You want to meet the cat? Jackie, you should meet Violet's cat.
Oh, can you put the cat? Would it be okay to put it up to the computer?
She's getting very old. She's 19.
Ooh, wow, 19. That is.
I've had her since she was a baby.
Oh.
And she's very smart and very soft.
Oh,
And
she's beautiful. Oh.
Here she is. Her name is Mayla. Mayla is
Hi.
Yiddish for little girl.
Oh, Mayla. Yiddish for a little girl, and she's 19 years old.
She looks like a kitten though, and she acts like one. I mean, not entirely, but she runs all around and
Yeah.
Oh, how sweet. Oh, I love animals. Well, thank you, Violet. Thank you, Martha. This is
Jackie,
a
it's
pleasure.
been a
Yes,
pleasure to meet you.
okay.
Good luck with all your work.
thank you. Thank you so much. I feel so inspired by you.
Okay, and I'm really glad. That means a lot to me.
All right. You take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Violet and Martha. Bye,
Bye,
Jackie.
Karen.
Bye. Bye, Karen.
Bye, Karen.
Thanks for letting me observe. It's been great to watch.
Well, it is,
Yeah,
Karen.
Karen saying thanks for letting her observe.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.